Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
All of today's guests, including Marty Walsh of the NHLPA, standing by, brought to you by the Bayside Oceanfront Resort at Bayside. There's always a blend of West Coast luxury with exceptional service, ensuring your corporate event leaves a lasting impression. Call 250-248-8333 or visit us at BaysideResortParksville.com to book your event today. Just before we get to Marty Walsh, NHLPA Executive Director, we have found out, and we got a taste of this earlier in the week, what the Four Nations jerseys are going to look like. Ryan, we got a shot of it. There you go. Sweden in the traditional yellow, Finland in the double blue and white, the Americans red, white, and blue, and Canada with a retro feel.
You like it
to the red, white, and black jerseys.
You like this?
I think the white's it's a creamy white. There's a retro feel there. I'm giving it the thumbs up as we're joined now by Marty Walsh, NHLPA Executive Director. Thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. I like the retro feel. I like that. Yeah. It's a little different, something different in the NHL and with the Four Nations. So I think people will be excited seeing those jerseys and be able to buy one of those.
Well, we're excited about the jerseys, and we're excited about the event. All media, I think, fans are. What about the players, Marty? Are they excited about Four Nations?
Yeah, they're excited because international hockey's back, and we're working on a great schedule for the next decade of international hockey, and players are excited. You know, a lot of players never played together. I was reading an article today. You know, Connor and Sid never played together, which is amazing. And having them play for Canada and the USA, it's going to have a great team. Finland, Sweden, it's going to be exciting. It's kind of a prelude into the Olympics, and then hopefully 2 years later we'll have the World Cup of Hockey back.
Yeah, Marty, you know, people up here, they're a bit gun shy when it comes to the Olympics. People just some people expecting their rug is going to get pulled out from underneath them. Is it all systems go for the NHL and the 2026 Olympics?
Yeah, all systems go. I mean, we're working very closly with the NHL, the PA and the NHL, and we have a deal for 2026 and 2030. And I'm assuming 2034 will be fine as well. It'll be I think they haven't announced it yet, but it sounds like it's going to be in Utah. So I think we're going to be in good shape there. And you know, I'm hoping that we can get our agreements now for the World Cup of Hockey and have, growing up as a hockey fan, you know, we had the 72 series, 87, and it was inconsistent. And having a consistent international best-on-best tournament schedule moving forward, it's great for the sport. It's great for the fans. It's great for the players. It's going to be great for hockey all around.
Hey, Marty, when do you think, the new CBA, well, the CBA is going to be up soon. When do you think negotiations will start?
We're not sure yet. We're doing fall tour right now. I'm meeting with all the teams, and I'm meeting with Toronto today, so that'll be number 7. And so by before Christmas, we'll have all the teams met with, and we'll have an understanding what the players want to do at the earliest in the new year. Obviously, and the commissioners expressed he'd like to start earlier, and I think if we're in a position to, we would like to get it done as well and get going. Certainly, it's something I'm looking forward to having conversations about. Collective bargaining, that's an area that I'm pretty familiar with in my past life, and looking forward to having dialogue. But we got to wait and not get ahead of ourselves. See what the players really want. See what's interest what they want to see change in the CBA. Maybe what they want to add in the CBA, and then sit down and have the dialogue.
How much do you anticipate the salary cap going up this year?
It's hard to say. I mean, we had a conversation earlier about that in the office, and really thinking about where we are with the revenue and stuff like that. So those are conversations we'll have to have. I think the key here is when you talk about salary cap. Obviously, over the last 10 years, it's been going up incrementally in different ways, and the escrow has been high in some cases, particularly during COVID for the players. So what we want to do is make sure that the players are getting the full salary for their salaries. So I think we'll be having those dialogues with the league and talking about how do we increase salary cap, how do we keep escrow low if it's not at zero. And I think having that predictability for the fans and for the team, well, the teams obviously, but the fans as well, is important.
Hey, Marty, you see players in baseball, basketball, and football making 40, 50, 60 million a year, and then, hockey's at 10, 11, 12, 13. How can you get those hockey salaries up?
Well, it comes down to the business aspect of it. I mean, when you think about the growth last year was really good. The growth that's projected for this year is good as well. And as you think about how do you bring new revenue into the sport, I think that's key. How do you maybe TV deals and things like that, advertising? We're working pretty closely with the league on the business aspect of it. I've told the players that we might have disagreements on the work front, if you will, with arbitrations and things like that and grievances. But on the business side, there's no reason for us not to work collectively together to grow the game of hockey. I think with Four Nations, the Olympics, World Cup of Hockey, you're going to see hopefully new fans watch this game. There's been talk of expansion. I don't know what's going to happen or not, but let's just look back at Vegas and Seattle and now Utah. Utah's not expansion, but let's say for this conversation it is. We're seeing a lot of excitement in markets that never had hockey before. So if we can think about growing areas of maybe not with a team, but growing the sport of hockey in other parts of the country and other parts of the world, I think that's key. And that will help us bring new revenues into the league and which ultimately will help players get better salaries.
Well, the NHL can't expand, Marty, because if there's 34 teams or 36 teams, that decreases the chances of the Canucks winning their first ever Stanley Cup. So you want to keep that in mind. Is expansion a possibility or a probability?
I mean, I think it's at this point probably a possibility, maybe leaning towards probability. That's a conversation that Gary Bettman's having. Certainly, we haven't really got too deep into it because I think there's a lot going on in hockey right now. But I think at some point we probably will see 34 teams. But when, I don't know.
Do you think Phoenix will ever get another team, Marty? I know it's been bandied.
I don't know. I think that with the right circumstance, with an arena, with real marketing and pushing, supporting a team potentially, I think there's certainly, the league is very hopeful that would be successful down in Phoenix, and a lot of things worked against Phoenix as far as being successful as a team. Not having an arena, number one, was key, and I think that you don't want to rule any place out. I mean, you just never know, depending on when you go back to an area. I know, like in Tampa Bay, for years they were struggling, and then a new owner came in with vision and changed it around. I wouldn't say overnight, but really turned it into a hockey town in a lot of ways. And you see the value of that team today and what it's being sold for. I mean, that can, if you put the right piece in place, anything can be successful if you have the right business plan.
Hey, Marty, one final one here. Milan Lucic is a Vancouver native. He's trying to get back to the NHL. He hasn't got clearance. Where's that right now?
Well, we're having conversations. Milan's a great friend. I know Milan for a long time. He was a Bruin here when I was before I was in this job, and certainly knew him from his days as a Bruin. And I know he's from Vancouver, and he certainly has a desire for hockey and loves hockey. So, working through to see what the next step is for him. We're not quite there yet.
Okay, Marty, one more. Politics in your background, former U.S. Secretary of State, former mayor of Boston. And we watch American politics with fascination up here in Canada. Can you describe your feelings going into the November 5th election?
Yeah, it's going to be a very close election. I mean, when you think of America, unfortunately, we seem to be a bit divided in our politics right now. And I think that hopefully after this election in November, we can get back a little more unity. I think we've seen a lot, in the last, 5 or 6 years, actually maybe a little longer than that, last 10 years, a big divide in America. And I think that, as labor secretary, I went around the country and I talked to lots of people, Democrats, Republicans, and we're not that divided on the ground. It's just the issues become social media and the media and everything plays into it, just divides it even further. And it's not just here in the United States. It's all across the world. You saw it in Europe. We see it in Canada. It's just, I think that we have to get back a little bit to putting country first and then party after that. And unfortunately, we're not there yet.
Well said. Marty, all the best with everything. We really appreciate this. Thank you so much.
No, thank you very much for having me today.
You bet.